You are 26 years old, you have a savings account, zero credit card debt, and you genuinely believe you are doing everything right. But here's the truth: nobody is going to tell you at your job orientation or your family dinner table. The financial system was never designed to explain itself to you. And the cost of not understanding it is not a number you can easily calculate because it compounds silently, invisibly for decades, until one day you look up and wonder where all that time went. Let me paint two versions of your life. Same starting point, same income, same city. Completely different outcomes. And the only variable between them is one thing: financial knowledge. Version 1. You earn $52,000 a year. You budget carefully. You throw your leftover $400 a month into a savings account, earning basically nothing, while inflation quietly eats its purchasing power from the inside out. Your 401k sits in whatever default fund HR set up for you on day one. You are not building wealth. You are managing its slow disappearance while calling it responsibility. You are a passenger on a flight, present and buckled in, but completely dependent on systems you have never bothered to understand. Now, version 2. Same age, same salary, but someone handed this person a book, or a conversation, or just one moment of clarity. That moment rewired the way they see every single dollar that passes through their hands. They know the difference between an asset and a liability. They understand that the interest rate on their debt is literally the guaranteed return they are giving up by not paying it off. They understand that time is the most scarce and irreplaceable resource in all of personal finance, and they are using it deliberately. Here's where it gets real. Imagine a crisis hits at work. Your company has a massive underfunded pension problem. The CFO calls you directly and asks if you can model some financial scenarios. In version 1, without financial knowledge, you flag the problem, copy compliance, and hand it off. An outside consultant charges $180,000 to produce a report you could have written. You get nothing from it except a return to your desk. In version 2, you spent 8 months reading everything you could about capital structure, debt instruments, and how corporate balance sheets actually work. You write the memo yourself. You model 3 scenarios. You catch an error in a banker's discount rate calculation during a live call. The CFO notices. 2 weeks later, you are director of corporate finance strategy at 26 years old. Same person, different information. That is not luck. That is the compounding return on knowledge acquired early. And here's the principle at the core of all of this. The wealthy hold assets. Everyone else holds wages. That one mechanical difference, compounding over 30 or 40 years, is responsible for almost every wealth gap you see in society. Rich people do not get richer because they work harder. They own things that earn money while they sleep. Equity positions, investment accounts, interest-bearing instruments, things appreciating while others trade their hours directly for dollars. The gap between these two systems is not a moral question. It is a mechanical one. And here is what changes everything. It is completely learnable. Financial literacy is not some exclusive club. It is not a gene you are born with. It is a language. And like any language, you can learn it. But most people never get handed the first piece. Most schools never teach it. Most workplaces assume you already know it. So the people who figure it out early get compounding returns on that knowledge for the rest of their lives, and the people who never figure it out keep making decisions without understanding the rules of the game they are already playing. Think about compound interest. Most people have heard the term, but they have never felt it emotionally. When you invest early, your money earns returns. Then those returns earn returns. Then those returns earn returns on top of that. Over 20 or 30 years, the difference between starting at 25 and starting at 35 is not just 10 years of contributions. It is potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars of difference just from the math of time. Now flip that around. When you carry high-interest debt, compound interest works against you with that same ruthless efficiency. Every month you carry a balance, you are paying interest on interest on interest. The financial system absolutely depends on most people never deeply understanding this dynamic. Here's the psychological trap that keeps people stuck. You feel responsible. You feel ahead. You feel like you are doing things right. That feeling of doing okay is the most dangerous financial state you can be in because it removes the urgency to learn more. Real financial growth requires getting comfortable with the idea that you do not yet know what you do not know. So, what do you actually do with this? First, understand where your money is going and what return it is generating. Not just whether you are saving, but where those savings are sitting, and whether inflation is quietly destroying their value. Second, learn the difference between good debt and bad debt. Not all debt is equal. Debt that acquires assets can work for you. Consumer debt almost never does. Third, start thinking in assets. What do you own that could appreciate or generate income without you actively working for it? That question alone will begin reshaping your financial decisions. Fourth, and maybe most importantly, invest in financial education, like it is the highest returning asset class available to you. Because at early stages of your life, it genuinely is. One piece of the right information at the right moment has the potential to alter the entire trajectory of your career and your wealth. The rules of this game were always there. The spreadsheets were always accessible. The compound curve was always working in the background. The only question is whether you learn the rules early enough to use them or spend your best years figuring out why things never went the way you expected. And someone right now is searching for that first piece of information. They are going to read one thing, then another, and then the curve begins for them. That person can be you. It starts today. The markets do not wait. Time does not wait. And the version of your life where you understood money? It was always with